In a small Maine town, under the sky so clear, a man named Vinny fights, driven by the fear. The CPS is corrupt, breaking hearts in cold. He stands with the people, brave and bold. With the Constitution held high in his hand, he walks the streets a one-man band. No more kids for cash, no more silent cries. In Vinny's eyes, the truth never dies. We're fighting for justice, standing tall. Vinny's voice echoes, answering the call. Through our podcast, we light up the night, freeing our kids, bringing truth to light. Families torn apart in the dead of night. Vinny's on the front line, ready for the fight. He records the stories, each tear and word, amplifying voices, making sure they're heard. Families torn apart in the dead of night. Vinny's on the front line, ready for the fight. He records the stories, each tear and word, amplifying voices, making sure they're heard. Oh, we're fighting for justice, standing tall. Vinny's voice echoes, answering the call. Through our podcast, we light up the night, freeing our kids, bringing truth to light. Down the scenic roads, past the rustling pines, Vinny dreams.
In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation. Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again. CPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks, paid for by the souls of the children. Diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just the mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
Good afternoon, everybody. That's right. You got the one and only manager, Mr. Vinny. I'm out here with you guys, a freedom fighter. Let's go, Brandon. I got the chat. It's gonna pop up over here in a second. There we go. Got it out there. Please like, share, subscribe. Get us out there, guys. We're trying to get our voices heard. We're gonna dive right in on some things today, I think. One of being which is that I've sent a bunch of stuff to both my attorneys, my new criminal attorney and my CPS attorney. I was supposed to hear from Richard 2 nights ago. He was supposed to call me, never did. I was supposed to hear from him last night, never called me at all. This has been consistent for the past couple days. Hi, Miss Debbie. How are you doing? Hope your day is going well. Hi, Christine. I know you're listening too. And this has been happening, guys. Like, I try to reach out to these people. I try to give them facts. I try to give them case law. I try to give them everything that I have for my case. And they ignore me and don't message me back and don't call me back. This is getting tiring with these attorneys. You know, I've busted my rear on this case. I have put all my ducks in a row. I have filed motions. I've done motions to show cause. I've done motions to dismiss. I just sent them my RICO motions, and I seem to be not getting out nowhere with these people. So it's time for me to make a stand against these attorneys who don't want to do their jobs, do not want to submit things to the court, um, and don't want to challenge jurisdiction. In the CPS case, they do not have subject jurisdiction matter because we did not lay our head for more than 6 months in Augusta, which states in the Constitution and in statute law that you have to lay your head more than 6 months at a time in a county for you to have for them to have jurisdiction. Okay, they did not have jurisdiction to begin with. So CPS, that's for you. State cop, Victoria Lane, that's for you as well. I'm calling you all out. You have violated my rights to my Constitution. You have violated my parental rights. You have more than anything made accusations to the public against me. Okay. That is denying me of a fair trial because you put me out to the public, Mr. DA, Anthony, Carlos Diaz. You're a piece of shit, and I'm hoping that Trump takes you down too. Matter of fact, I got stuff into the DOJ for civil rights violations. I have reports into the DOJ, Pam Bondi, on the stuff that's going on here in Maine. I have reached out to President Trump. I have reached out to Doge, and I have reached out to many others. Trying to get immediate attention shown to Maine and how bad it really is here. Um, Hi, Josephine. Nice seeing you. Thank you. From New York. Awesome. I'm from New York too. I was born and raised in Albany, but I live in Maine. So, I am a New Yorker myself. Um, so, hey, what's up there, Gun Gun? Darren's not here. It's just me right now. I don't know where Darren is. I sent the link to Herbert, but I haven't seen him yet either. Usually he'll join me. But guys, you got to realize that these courts are fraud. They are frauding our federal government. They are lying. They are cheating. They are manipulating. They're coercing people into these courtrooms. And they're doing that with the help of the cops, CPS, and the district attorney's offices, and the assistant attorney general's office. Maine's attorney general here is going against Trump and saying all kinds of stuff and told the public up here that any employees of their government up here are not to comply with DOJ. This is a problem. When you got a state of Maine AG telling its employees to not follow DOJ's rules and to not do anything that the president has ordered, this is a breach of major proportions. They're doing it all over the news up here. They are bashing Trump. They're bashing Elon. They're saying not to comply, and much more. These people up here in Maine think that they hold power over we the people. I hate to tell them, but it states on our Constitution, we the people of the United States, which means it's citizens, we the people. Then our sitting president, and then so on and so forth. There's a chain of command here. Brooklyn born. Hell yeah, Josephine. Hell yeah. Albany. So definitely feel that. I know Brooklyn very well. I've been there a couple times, matter of fact. You don't like Trump? Why don't you like Trump, Josephine? He is doing everything in his power to make this country great again. He is sworn and stayed by what he said he would do when he got into office, and he is doing it. with the help of Doge. People don't realize that Doge is actually has Elon Musk has a thing with the president where he does have the power to do what he's doing. I'm sorry to tell you people that have been brainwashed and listening to all this fake news that's been put out. But if you're really not paying attention, you need to go on Rumble and go look up Dan Bongino, who gives straight facts. He's an ex-military, and there's a couple other websites that are putting straight facts out. Even the presidential office of the White House has been doing things and putting out facts to the media. Um, so you guys need to stop watching these news channels. They're giving you fake publicity. They're giving you fake stuff about our president, fake stuff about Elon. All these posts that I see on Facebook are you have to check everything. You have to fact find. You have to check. Um, and the reason why I say this is because there's a lot of people out there that are trying to destroy the reputation of our president and of Elon. And they're doing everything within their power to do it. Even here in Maine, they're doing it. And you know, for these people to be causing this much of a ruckus means that Elon's doing something right, because he's calling them all out and he's finding all the millions of dollars that they actually it's up above $1 trillion now from what I just seen this morning. It's a mass amount of money, guys. They're laundering money. They're frauding the federal government. They're frauding we the people. They're stealing from us. And you're okay with this? President Trump has found this with Elon, and they plan to do reimbursement checks to everyone. Yet this entire country says, "Oh well, we don't believe Trump. We don't believe Trump." Trump has done more in the past 3 weeks than Joe Biden ever did in his 4 years. Hate to tell you. And if you side with Biden, you might as well leave this live, because I will not sit against that. Sorry. Biden, Dirty Joe, down the tube. Kamala Harris, liar, down the tube. You know, I can tell you guys so much that has happened. You know, from the false arrest of me that you guys seen on the show, we've put it out there, to the heinous crimes that they're alleging I did with no physical proof, no physical evidence. Where's this evidence? Where's this proof? All you're going off is hearsay, my word versus that person's word. And you're believing someone that coerced her, manipulated her by using her own goddamn story to do so. Why? She was under the influence of marijuana. And God knows what else she was doing, because uh, they allowed her to get away with drinking with her actual biological father and doing drugs, and did nothing about it. And I'm telling you guys straight up, this is truth. This is facts. Um, we have gotten the facts. We have gotten the proof. Um, these courts are lying to you. They are deceiving you. You do not answer to these courts. We are above these courts, way above these courts. We, the people, have more authority than our own government. You guys should think about that. We hold the power as we, the people. We hold the power to initiate a militia. We hold the power to put government out of office if we deem necessary. Unsupervised visits. Yeah, I saw that, W. That's awesome. That is really awesome. No worries. The leftists don't fight to free children. Tracy, you know, um, they want to keep our kids in their system. They want to traffic our children, abuse our children, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and sexually. They exploit our children to make profit. And this needs to stop. And our government needs to listen and smarten the hell up and put a stop to it. No more kids for cash, because that's what CPS is about. They are about stealing our kids to put money in their piggy banks. The same with the judges. They're all in on it. Even the attorneys are in on it. And I'm starting to see the real thing to that. You know, my attorney says, "Oh, I'm fighting to protect you in your criminal case, blah blah blah." Dude, I want you to represent me the way you're supposed to represent me, as an attorney, fighting for me, not against me, and not for CPS. I don't give a shit if the court pays you or not. I'm the one that's paying that court, right? Comes out of my tax paying money? Yes, it does. So you work for me. You don't work for the court. You work for me. End of story. And this dude better start listening to what I got to say. And he better start doing his job. And he better start doing as I tell him to do. Or he's going to find himself out of a job for protecting me. Because I will not hold no bar. I will fire an attorney. I am not afraid to make an attorney take himself off my case. I am not afraid. I've done it once already. More than once, actually. I've fired 2 attorneys before him, and I had my other attorney fire himself off my case because I served him under color of law for violating my rights, which he was. And I can prove that he was violating my rights because he is on the side of the district attorney and the judge that was on my case in my criminal side 6 times sitting on every case. Same judge. And if these people think I'm going to back down and that they want to silence my voice, they're not going to silence my voice. I'm not going to back down. And I'm going to tell you all right here and now. If something happens to me, okay, I want you all to raise hell. All of you, raise hell. If something goes wrong and no one sees me or hears from me, or you find out I'm in jail, I expect people to riot. I expect people to picket at Cumberland County Jail here in Maine, because that's where they would take me. Sup, Lauren? Oh, I've taken them off my case, Lauren. I have. Um, I'm looking into other avenues. A matter of fact, I'm waiting for this one attorney to get back in touch with me. I've talked to him before. He's kind of interested in my case, but he wasn't able to take it on. And he deals with civil rights. So I'm hoping that I can reach back out to him soon. He told me a date when his office would be taking on new clients, so I'm just waiting that time so I can speak with him. But I have reached out to him and his office. Um, I think I have a great fight. Violations of first, second, fourth, 14th, due process, excessive bail. I have it all against them, all of it, and it breaches Constitution. Just all in them. So I mean, it's been a fight. You guys don't understand what I've gone through. I have literally been traumatized, hurt, harassed, um, thrown to a ground, slammed into a freezer, cuffed so tight that it was cutting off the circulation to my wrists, and my hands were turning purple. Um, the list goes on, guys. You have no clue what I have been through. As a father, I have never had issues, not once. You know, when my oldest son was born, you know, my wife was accused of things when he was born, and I was the only one allowed in that room with my child when he was born. The only one. My wife could not see him at the time. She was cleared 4 days later and then was able to see our son. What I'm in Cumberland County, Tracy. We do. CPSV huntingjustice at gmail.com. All caps. CPSV huntingjustice at gmail.com. You got your kids back in 1 month, Josephine? That's awesome. That is awesome. Tracy Smith, yes, my court-appointed criminal CPS worker found out she wasn't a certified. Yeah, a lot of them aren't, Josephine. A lot of them aren't certified. And a lot of them come right out of college and go right into CPS work. In my case, I've seen that. They have had 5 different caseworkers on our case, 5, and just recently brought back the same caseworker that they said was fired. How are you fire someone and then bring them back? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Oh, my attorney did. All you got to do to get him to withdraw, Lauren, is file your thing under color of law. Take a screenshot of it with your phone, okay? Fix it so you can see it, and then email it to your attorney. I guarantee you, he drops off your case really quick. They do not like that under color of law docket. They do not. Oh, they do. And they not only do that, they do training to manipulate you, to coerce you, and to get you to do what they want. Proven fact. It's part of their training. They train the caseworkers to manipulate you, to coerce you, and to get you to comply to what they want. True facts. You can look into it. We've all talked about it on the shows. This is true facts, people. True facts. They're trained to manipulate you. They're trained to coerce you. They're trained to enter your home without a warrant or court order in hand, which is a violation of your rights, direct violation of your rights and the sanctity of your home. They do. Yep, they do. They're supposed to have a degree in social work. Yep. And it's funny because they all changed the workers, but the supervisors have been the same. They haven't changed. It's been the same supervisor. You know what she told my attorney? She doesn't care if I won my criminal case or not, that she was still going after me. That's what she told my CPS attorney. This supervisor has a hard on for me. And I tell you what, she's gonna find what kind of hard on I have for her, because I'm gonna sue the shit out of this bitch. And I'm gonna make it so she can never be around children again. That is coming. Bet your ass that is coming. Oh yeah, yeah, they have them right online. It tells you everything. It does. Oh, who we got? Who we got? Oh, we got a Mr. Darren's in the back with us. He's chilling out. He might pop out, maybe, and join the crowd.
What's
There
up,
he is.
Vinny?
Stop,
Here I
Mr.
am in the flesh. You get privy to me today.
Darren.
What is up, Vinny? What's going on?
Oh, we're talking about caseworkers and how they violate things.
Oh, yes, they do. They do violate quite a bit, don't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, well yeah. They definitely violate a lot of constitutional laws.
Well, we were just we may or may not have had an incognito interview just a few minutes ago. You know that, right?
Yep.
With Rochelle. And boy, oh boy, Vinny, wait till you see this Tiff and the Punisher show tonight.
Yeah, guys, stay tuned for Tiff and the Punisher show tonight because you're going to want this valuable information. It is detrimental to all of your cases.
Over. It's over, man. It's all over but the crying. It really is, people. And it is. That's all I can really say is it's all over. Now, depending how many times have we heard things that are right, though, right? In these fights with being parents and everything that, oh, look at this case law I found, and this is right, and this is right, and this is right, or this person said this, or this person said this, and it's nothing. But I have a feeling that what this lady, Rochelle Brooks, is saying is 100% true, accurate, and yeah, I mean, it's over. They cannot terminate our parental rights. Period.
Right. They're inalienable.
Well, I mean, even further than that. Well, there's nothing really further than that, but they have no authority. None. Zip zero zilch. The government is not giving them, and as a matter of fact, they frown upon the fact of them trying to mess with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
So,
matter of fact, that whole program is to take and turn around. Is the
Lord
is reunification. Matter of
it
fact,
is all about
reunification.
Look, Title IV was made exactly the way it was supposed to. It's a great program. It really is, if they implement it properly.
Which we know they don't.
Not at all. Actually, they use it illegally.
Yep.
They fraud. They are knee deep in fraud because everybody knows that the second that you sign that safety plan, they're not going for reunification. They're going for termination. Yep. That's why they give you a guardian ad litem. That's why they do all that stuff. Guardian ad litems are only appointed in the state of Maine, and I'm sure in many other states if there's adoption on the table, or if what else, Vinny?
Or if they're terminating your parental rights.
Right. That's the only time a judge can issue a guardian ad litem in a case. So tell me why you get one at the right from the gates in your CPS case.
Because they plan to terminate your right.
Right. But I bet you they still collect Title IV funds off of that stuff too.
Oh, of course they do. Of course.
Which in Title IV it says if you're not reunifying, then you get no freaking money. So everybody make sure you do a FOIA request on that. I got to go see a man about a horse, guys. I will catch you all later on. Gunner, I'll catch you this afternoon. Vinny, I'll catch you sooner than that.
All right.
I'll talk to you all soon.
Big man.
At least I got Gunner with me. I mean, Darren's got to go see a man about a horse, so I'm sure he's going to be busy for a little bit.
Yeah, it's cold in Maine, so you know that horse is going to take a little bit to warm up and go from there.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely cold. It said it was 4 degrees out last I checked.
It's not cold. It's damn cold.
Right.
Robin Williams in Vietnam. It's hot. It's damn hot. Hell no. It's cold. It's damn cold. Don't shake nothing too hard. It may fall off.
They're not judges. They are not.
No. Guardian ad litems are in place for your, supposedly in your children's best interest. But understand this, if that was true, and a lot of them are attorneys in a lot of states in cases, then why aren't they defending the constitutional rights of the child? Because there's the whole thing that there's the loophole to get these guardian ad litems is, especially if you've had a Fourth Amendment violation or any constitutional rights violations, such as questioning your children on your own private property. That is a felony.
We should read them this, because this is under Title XVI, Supplement Security Income for the Age, Blind, and Disabilities Act. Okay? I'm going to read you guys this. Nothing in this act shall be construed as authorizing any federal official, agent, or representative in carrying out any of the provisions of this act to take charge of any child over the objection of either of the parent of such child or of the person standing in loco parentis to such child.
Hmm. That is the very
There
end
you
of the
go.
Social Security Act of 1935. It actually states that at the very end. If you get a full copy of that, that is a special section also, but it is also found in the original. It was more detailed. So the idea is they amended the Social Security Act to what you're reading or what Darren has found, to further define that, of where it goes through to make sure it's reiterated. But that's in the closing parts. But they wanted to make sure that you're not missing. When you look at a bill or an act or anything, everything's important from the very first word to the very last word. Everything has context. And the issue that's coming through with this is they were further defining, thinking, well, how do we get CPS to do what we want to federally? Let's just take and pass this thing, re-emphasizing this section of the Social Security Act of 1935, that the idea or the concept, going back to the original concept, when you go through the history of CPS, the Department of Family and Children Services, was to, and once again, you guys all know that I'm a history buff. Um, the concept was to help out those kids that were left from plague, disease, and from those that originally started in World War I, to where veterans, that people lost their lives over there and had children here, and then different diseases, this and that came through, and there was no family, no kinship. People had moved from southern states to, and this is a migration in our history. At the end of World War II, this happened too. They moved towards larger metropolitan areas for better jobs, cities. And this is why you see New York, Chicago, and some of the other cities throughout. You have cities in your own state, several cities, I'm sure, during that time, that where a bunch of federal money was pumped into those places to start projects, roads and highways, dams. A lot of these projects started going into that, as well as building hydroelectric dams to provide electricity. A lot of these things were going on at the same time, but CPS was only supposed to be there if nobody was there that was family. That basically the state stepped in and says they have no family, they have nothing to have, and we're here to help. And the problem is this is Project Paperclip. I'm going to say it again and again and again, using the same Hitler tactics of using the children, of, oh my God, all this stuff is happening to children. Guys, when it comes down to child abuse, true abuse, criminal abuse, from the comparisons to what CPS has versus criminal cases, is actually only about 1 or 2%. That means everything else that they get, in other words, substantiated some of the. Now, I even question some of the substantiations. Why? Because of my personal experience. They framed me. They falsified evidence. They did this. They did that. Why? Because it was a mental health issue. So this is their playground, is mental health. Well, it's a soft science. What does that mean for a soft science? It means when I run the scientific method, I'm not going to get the same results, but I should be getting similar results. That's why it's called a soft science. A hard science means that if I combine these two chemicals, I'm going to get a chemical reaction every single time. That's called hard evidence. Okay? Everything that CPS brings against you is soft evidence. Every bit of it. There's no hard evidence whatsoever. They have to fabricate it. Matter of fact, we revealed on my show, it was a breaking thing, several things of one, hospitals and nurses working together with CPS to give you epidurals and then stealing your fucking baby after they do a drug test that they have no right to do. And we've even seen cases to where there was one we did on our show to where they came and got a baby, but there was no court order, no warrant. CPS worker was there and tried to reach after the kid and ended up assaulting the man. Guys, no, they got to have, there's rules and regulations. When they don't follow it, it's null and void. If there's no court order, warrant, or emergency, and none of that's there, and they're there to take your kids, defend yourself, because it's not legal.
And you have a right for your Second Amendment.
Absolutely, per the Second Amendment and per the Constitution. So if they say, well, we're going to get you for, like, there's one case up there in Illinois now, Tracy Smith, I'm from Southside. So actually, find a way, we'll connect and do some story swapping, maybe the old school days. Um, but that's one thing too that we've got to take and remember that this is all a game, and they do this for money. And the caseworkers are fucking clueless. Here's why: when this shit goes down, and when I tell you it's getting ready to go down, there's something we know you don't know, and there's a reason for it, because there's a lot of people that watch our shows that are parents in trouble, parents advocates, but we also have CPS workers that are watching our shit, and people from other states and government agencies watching this. Why? We are being silenced on a lot of levels and basically blacklisted, to where we're even seeing our numbers go down. Why? Because they're trying to block this shit. But they're
You know what?
convinced, these caseworkers, that you're playing checkers, that they pump their brains. Listen, I can tell you this for a fact, because my wife has a degree in psychology and early childhood development. She went through their fucking training, every bit of it. And it's a scare tactic. It's like saying, hey, put this device in your home. If you don't, there's a good possibility you're going to take and die. One of them is, we'll say, well, we can go through radon, you can go through a couple of the others, but it's a scare tactic. Yes, it's a preventative thing. Is there a chance it's going to take and get you? Possibly. But you really think I'm worried about the cancer coming out of this and that versus the food that you've been putting in my body for 40 years that's poisoning me? So, Tracy, hit me up with an email at expo.cps.tn@gmail.com. Just send me an email through there. If not, Ben's got my info. You guys should have all that stuff out there. Guys, this is Hitler. This is Project Paperclip. This is the same ideologies, the same things we thought that we took down with Hitler and the government. But Hitler was so smart, he inspired an entire nation to his way of thinking. Even extremists. He took on extremists and people that were very conservative with his point of view. But the point is that the people are too dumb to control themselves, and they need to control them. We are being controlled. We have been slowly conditioned. One, especially in our Second Amendment. It's been the first one under attack.
Don't forget the
And brainwashed. And that's the same way with these caseworkers, because they don't realize they're the scapegoat. Because if something happens in every state, the first person they're going to blame, we have a rogue caseworker. Has nothing to do with the state, has nothing to do with the CPS system, has nothing to do with our, CD or CAC centers, child advocacy centers. That CPS. Now understand this. This is how illegal this is too. Your CAC centers are usually 501c, independent private companies. Why is the state giving it to a monopoly? Aren't monopolies illegal in your county? Where's the competition? So I can only go to one place in my whole county? That's called a monopoly, and it's sponsored by the state government. That's illegal. The state is sponsoring a monopoly. And who's feeding this private business?
CPS.
CPS, the state. That's a conflict of interest. There's no need for that. Why can't I pick any psychologist or psychiatrist? I have to go to yours. And that's what they tell you. Well, they have specialized training. How does a 20-something-year-old child have training or any damn life experience whatsoever? Let me put it that way. Listen, I've raised 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy, all over 18. Let me tell you from experience. Government wasn't there when half my kids were sick, when they busted their arm or broke their arm from what? Playing sports. We never come back around from half of this other shit. We took them in for half of this. CPS come around, what the fuck you doing here? Oh, we're seeing how they broke the bone. The boy plays fucking football, full contact. You done lost your damn mind.
Let me explain this to you guys. Government wasn't there when my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, went to the cops about her grandfather, which is my wife right now, his father, for molestation and rape, and they did nothing. Where was the state then? Where was the
They were
state
never there.
when the oldest stepson put in his complaint as well, but the middle child did nothing. She said, "Oh, he did nothing to me." And then years later, all of a sudden, out of the woodwork, she's gonna say, "Oh, well, he molested me," and then turn that around and backfired onto me.
Yeah. Guys, it's all conditioning of our kids in public school systems, everything else, that there's all sorts of evils, and children are very influential. This is why you shouldn't have your kids in public school. One, that's just one reason. Why? Because there's too many influences of other people's thoughts, their ways, their beliefs, and everything else that are going into your child. And it is your constitutional right to say, I don't want those things in my child. But when you sign them over to the public schools, you're handing over that responsibility the same way as when you find an attorney. You're basically saying to the courts, I'm not smart enough to defend myself. I'm sorry, folks. That's the absolute fucking truth, which is why when you have an attorney, you're to be silent in a courtroom. But when you go pro se sui juris, you can't shut me the fuck up because I have rights all the way back to the Constitution. You get back to the foundational principles. Now, why is all this corrupt? Let me tell you why. Because 90% of your cases or more has a federal issue or a constitutional issue, and your state only license, they don't have a license to practice federally. So they're going to stay in the lower courts because it means more money for this family attorney in your state. And yes, I'm calling out the bar. Fuck you. Why are people doing this? If you can't go to a federal court, and why? Because they don't figure there's constitutional rights violation. And you even go to the courtroom like me, you'll have a judge or magistrate say, we don't deal with those things in this courtroom, and then continue on. You just admitted to losing jurisdiction, dumbass, and you didn't think I'd catch it. See, that's where they play with you because you don't understand jurisdiction and this and that. It's kept from you. Why? Because they can make and charge a shitload of money rather than educating the average citizen of their absolute rights. No, you need lawyers to do that. You're not smart enough. See how they've played the game? And how much money has each of you paid your attorneys? Now go back and ask that attorney if you have constitutional rights issues. Do you have a federal license so we can file on this constitutional issue? Why?
They don't.
Because if you had a Fourth Amendment violation, such as entering your home and questioning on private property as the first act and no warrant or court order, your entire case shouldn't even be in court because it's called fruit from the poisonous tree doctrine. Your case is thrown out, nullified, because you have a constitutional right issue. It has to stop. But they're not going to tell you to change jurisdiction to a federal thing because states have no rights to hear. And that judge was right. We don't deal with constitutional matters in this courtroom. You're right. It's out of your jurisdiction. But you lost jurisdiction when you admitted it. And that's what you guys will hear. Why is your lawyers not advising you to go to the federal court when you have a constitutional rights violation? They did this. They entered my home. They questioned me on my own private property. Those are constitutional rights violations. Due process violations. Hey, SEC versus Jarsky says any judge, administrative judge, that has not just the fact they do it to you, but the power, the ability to invoke civil penalties, such as taking your children, child support, all those things, must have a trial by jury is what it says. Now, a lot of people say, what's going on? I've got people winning cases left and right over changing jurisdiction, doing that. We're taking SEC Jarsky right to the federal court, people. And we're going to ask the question, does it apply? Why? Because that's what the courts are there for. Begging somebody to get on a list or sign a waiver or anything else is bullshit. It's not the way our system's set up. We have 3 branches of government, and we went over this the other night. Executive, that's the president, right? His cabinet, everything else.
Well, don't forget
Legislative branch.
Don't
What's
forget
that?
us. We're at the top of that.
We're at the very top. These are elected and appointed officials. We are the government. They are elected and appointed officials. And hello, Tammy. So these are elected appointed officials, three branches of government representation that represent us: executive, the president; legislative, that's Congress and the Senate, and those take and create laws. It's the only one that creates laws. That's why all this shit ended up happening with stuff with the ATF, this and that. You don't have, these agencies don't have the ability to make laws. It has to come from Congress. Otherwise, they have took on a role illegally that they're not assigned to do. When they step outside their roles, it's illegal. It's a felony under the Constitution. Third branch. What's our third branch, Vicky? Executive. What's that?
Ain't it military?
No, judicial. Our judicial branch of government is our checks and balances system that interprets what the Constitution means to the courts. The judicial branch is, and it's your accountability. So when they don't do right, whether it's the president or it's your Congress, Senate, that's what the court systems are. We're going to take you to court and hold you accountable. Matter of fact, we can remove you from the court or your position in a courtroom. That's why we have things. The executive branch has fancy words such as impeachment. It's a fancy word for removal by the courts under the legal system. There's words that goes out with this that we need to take, and we haven't been educated, but we sure as fuck can take and turn around and identify as a fucking cat, a dog, or the opposite sex, or any of this other bullshit. And I'm sorry. Yeah, you have the right to explore that, but that's on your fucking time, personal time. Public education system time, you're supposed to be learning about reading, writing, arithmetic. You realize you've got a whole generation now, a couple of generations almost, that can't take and read calligraphy or cursive? What does that mean? Why is that important? That's not important.
They don't even
teach
foundational
documents.
They don't even teach history anymore.
Nope, their version of it, whitewashed, their perspective. Once again, there's an old saying: the victor writes the history and the perspective of the history. Go back and do your research on both sides of what each one was fighting for. You may not like the way it lines up, which is a lot of what happened during Vietnam. People didn't take and agree with it, even though the government was involved. Therefore, you had that situation. They've had people during, under the Bush administration and a couple of the others under the oil over in Iraq, Operation Desert Shield, Operation Freedom, several of those different ones. It's all over fucking oil.
Yep.
Listen, it comes down to some simple things, and the issue I don't get is unless we speak up, we're not going to get an elected official to do a fucking thing, because they're in their own best interest and that of their buddies, because that's the group. That's the way it goes. They're not representing the people. Actually, not Fort Leavenworth. It has to go to Guantanamo Bay for treason. The rules of treason are, it is not to be done on U.S. soil. Part of the things also with charges of treason is you have no constitutional rights. No. You don't even you actually go before a military tribunal and not a judge, because they don't have the authority. They've lost jurisdictional subject matter.
Lauren, no, my favorite saying is, they thought I was the sheep. I am no sheep.
Listen, guys, let's go back to one simple thing as far as history. Family predated any government system on this planet throughout history. Families. Those were the first governing bodies in this world, was family. And these elected officials are wanting to replace family. Why do you think CPS's thing is about destroying your family? It's not about anything else, because it generates what? More money. When they get involved, what comes after that? Not too long after, child support. For your own fucking kid, and you're still fucking married, you're paying somebody else. They're double dipping. That's double dipping when they hit you with child support. Why? Because they're getting that Title IV money Vinny was talking about. They are, and they have been getting away with it because people have not been holding them accountable because we've been pacified. You don't believe me? I've seen the birth of the fucking internet. I'm so fucking old. I never seen so many people go fucking stupid in all my life.
Yeah, back in our day, we had to play outside and drink from a goddamn hose.
You used your imagination, is what we called it, but it developed a part of your brain. There was a lot of things that we went out and we did that deals with development of the mind, that they know that going through a traumatic experience like this, especially with your children, they're causing massive trauma to where it actually it works in against the development of a child, because those years that you have your child are so important and so influential to the rest of your lives. And the reason I say that is because, there's many advocates, and I'm going to say this, there's many advocates and many people that get involved on different levels of what we do dealing with CPS. There are people that have had their kids taken. There are people that are involved in having their kids taken. They've had people go to jail. And you've had other people that are products of the system. They're not on that side of the fight, so they don't have that perspective. Okay. And I know one of them that is an advocate that helps a lot of people with state stuff and the best that they can. And once again, you have to look at advocates from where they come from. How did they get involved? What did they do? And how their fight and their perspective in their fight. Somebody that is a product of the system is not going to fight the same as somebody going through it as a parent. Okay? Let's explain that. And there's a lot of great advocates out there, but be wary when they don't tell you to advocate for yourself, is all I'm going to tell you. Having somebody come up and say, I have a magic potion or a magic attorney or a magic petition to sign or all that, that's begging. When you have a petition you're trying to sign to get a politician's thing, that's begging people. That we're not servants. We're not serfs. We are the fucking government. I ain't begging nobody for shit. If I don't like what you're doing, I can hold you accountable and put you under fucking citizen's arrest for your fucking crimes and march you before the magistrate. That's our rights and our power. Here's the other thing that they do. You realize when CPS was created by these state systems and then they weaponized them, they committed a felony. Now you're going to ask, what felony is that? The states have intimidated and violated the duties of your duly elected constitutional sheriff. Your sheriff's job description is a federal job description, not a state. And a lot of people need to learn this. And a lot of sheriffs, if you're watching this, you better go back to that handbook put out nationally by the federal government of what your obligations are. Same way with the person you have from your deputy standing in that courtroom. That deputy is not there to assist the judge. It's one of the roles they can, an officer of the court. But you realize that deputy has more power than that judge or magistrate?
Of course they do.
Because the judge and magistrate can't do shit, can't arrest a fucking cop. Or, I'm sorry, a deputy has more power. Deputy has the power to arrest your sheriff, your governor, any elected appointed official, anybody. But the state has convinced your sheriff in every county and every state that they are subject to the state. They are not. They are independent. They are to represent the people of their county and protect them and their constitutional rights. But the state has come in and convinced the sheriffs of something different. Well, we have power. We have that. So you got to understand where that all comes from. So what you're saying is the deputy has the power in the courtroom. If they see something unconstitutional, even by the judge, it is their sworn duty to pull that judge off the stand and put them bracelets on them and arrest them for deprivation of rights under the color of law, including a due process violation. Because the idea is the spirit of the law. Sometimes those rules or those things that have to be met, have to be bent just because of what's called the spirit of the law.
We're at that time though, guys. So we gave you a little bit of knowledge today. Look forward to Tiff and Darren's show at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a doozy. You want to watch it. You want to get the information that this lady gave, Miss Rochelle. It's definitely going to benefit you. So make sure you tune in at 7:30 for the Tiff and Punisher show. And then again at 10 p.m. tune in for the CPS Victims Hunting for Justice. We try to give you guys updates all the time. We're trying to get everything out to you guys, to give you knowledge, to educate you on everything. So please pay attention to what is said, what we're sharing on the shows. If you have to go back and rewatch some of our shows, it always helps to rewatch them because you learn more by rewatching. Check out Darren's book on Amazon. CPS Victim, Stay Calm. CPS is coming. It's on Amazon. You can get his book on there, and support the channel, guys. Like, share, follow, subscribe. Get us out there. We're trying to get word out. We're trying to educate you guys. We're trying to help you as parents, and help ourselves in the same aspect. We're all in this fight together, and there's no way that we're not gonna give up, because there's no giving up. And it doesn't matter if they try to throw the book at you or not. You can look them right in the face and say, well, in that case, Your Honor, you need to step off that bench.
Mhm.
You have that right. You have a right to call out a judge in an open courtroom. You have that right.
It is the judge's job to rush to the aid of the Constitution under their oath. Understand, they're supposed to be doing constitutional audits of every case as they come in. And Tracy, I put my email in the comment box for you. Guys, don't forget to and catch our show on Sunday nights, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Gunning for CPS. We have a special guest that's going to join us. We're going to be discussing this particular week. You're not going to want to miss it. That's going to deal with court orders and warrants and what makes them legal and binding and what doesn't. So you know what to spot to where you can actually, they come to your door with a bullshit warrant or this or that. You already are educated. Hey, that's missing a seal. Hey, that judge's name cannot be done photographically. In other words, filled in automatically. It has to be signed in ink pen, and they have to deliver that to you in hand when they come to the door and notify you. If they do not, they have no business in your home, and they are falsifying documents. We did break that this past week on AI generated documents that CPS is doing to enter as evidence in courtrooms that is false information, guys. It's happening. It's happened to Vinny, and some of that stuff's uncovered. They're doing anything and everything. Remember this. This is the same organization nationally that went before SCOTUS, the top judicial branch in the government, the top, that asked, why can't we pay actors to testify? People pay actors, in other words, part of the Actors Guild, to testify in a case as though it's just, doing a role on TV to take children. They actually went before SCOTUS on this. Look it up on YouTube. The judge they were about to lose their damn mind. Are you kidding? You want to pay actors to take children? Yeah, what's wrong with it? That's the same organization that wants your children. I want you to seriously think about that. That's willing to pay people to steal your children by lying. And they go before SCOTUS and say, tell me what's wrong with it. How's it not legal? Some of these people, I'll tell you exactly where they need to go. That's an act of treason. And the way that should end, well, we got about 5 different ways at Guantanamo Bay we can take care of that solution and fix that amount of stupid. Because that's exactly what it takes, because that's called treason and sedition. You should be hung, shot, lethal injection after a military tribunal. I am 100% at least put you before a military tribunal. But guess what? We're going to make that happen here real soon. And you're right, we can't share every little thing because we don't want the enemy to know exactly what we have until we have it and it's right in front of their face. And they don't stand a chance to cover up, hide, duck, or cover because it's coming and it's coming down hard. It's not just at the president level. Remember, the only way things happen is not by our elected and appointed officials. It's by we, the people. We, the government, makes the change. We have that ability and power, and we need to realize it. And that's what they don't want you to hear, because it not only becomes our duty, but our obligation under the Constitution that when tyranny comes in, that we take one method or another to remove those people, either by through the courts or by force. And we're long overdue for a civil war, as I've heard several people historically say, as a country. We need some change, and this change is coming now, but we got to be part of that change. And don't beg anybody for your rights. Those are God-given. Thanks, guys.
Have a good day, guys. We'll see you back here later on today. Make sure you're staying tuned, staying in track with all of our shows. Like Gunnar said, he's got his show on Sunday at 9:30. We have other shows upcoming starting Monday. We'll have Miss Sam Mosley doing her healing show. So stay tuned for that. We're also adding on Sunday Obsidian and Jonathan. They're going to have a couple guests on their show as well. We're also going to be adding Amy Walmsley. She's going to be doing her own show as well. So we're trying to get out more shows. And if you want your own show and you want to get on the channel with us and become part of the family, reach out to Darren at cpsvhuntingjustice@gmail.com or reach out to me, darkdark325@gmail.com, and I will get the information over to Darren, and we will try to get you on the show. We invite everyone to come on as a guest and share your stories. So just remember that, guys. We do open forums. I do as well. On my own shows, I do like people to come on and share their stories. It's good to hear your story, get your story out there, and it benefits you to be able to speak about it. So don't be afraid to speak about your cases, and don't be afraid to share, because we've all shared our cases out here. All of us, every single one of us has shared some information on our case. So please don't be afraid. Hit us up, let us know. We're not afraid to get you on the show. We're not afraid to get you information. We're not afraid to help you with whatever you're doing. So just remember that, guys, and I hope you guys have a great day. We are out of here.
Vinny on the mic, life in the vice, CPS tight, fighting through the nights, through the pain and the plight. Lost in the system, kids taken away, but he ain't giving up, fighting day by day. Courtroom's cold, but his heart fire bold. Documented evidence, stories untold. Digging deep, unearthing all the mess. Knows he's getting closer, there's no time to rest. CPS won't break this man, fighting each day, got a bigger plan. Reclaiming his kids, dreams in his hand, battling for others strong like a brick wall stand. Every setback a setup for a comeback. Vinny stacking facts, ready for the attack. Discovering truths buried deep in the lies. Eyes on the prize, freedom in his eyes. Community's voice rising up, getting loud. Vinny leading the charge, making his folks proud. Taking down giants, carrying the fight. The light at the end now blindingly bright. For his kids, for his life, for the broken and lost. Vinny's resilient, no matter the cost. Breaking free from chains, reclaiming his dream. CPS trembling when Vinny hit the scene.